a gentleman in his early 40s, was injured when he fell off a scaffold at a construction site in Queens. And what happened was he worked for an employer who was hired to be a subcontractor at a construction site. When he got up on the scaffold, he wasn't provided with the proper safety equipment to prevent him from falling if something happened on the scaffold. He unfortunately had what's called a burst fracture in his spine that required an immediate operation. It was very touch and go early on. I remember going to the hospital, being with his wife. Nobody knew what the future was going to hold for this gentleman. I remember in this particular case, speaking with my client's wife probably every day for the first couple of months after the accident, because her husband's recovery was very, very challenging. Eventually, he started to get better, although he never was able to go back to work as a carpenter after that. But the litigation focused on the fact that he wasn't provided with the proper safety equipment that he should have been to do the type of job that he was asked to do. And so the sad part of it is that if he had that equipment, he would never have fallen off the scaffold down to the ground, and he never would have broken his back, and life would have moved on for this family. In this scaffold fall case, one of the defenses was that there was actually safety equipment on site. However, that safety equipment was never given to my client. It was a non-delegable duty. In other words, the owner of the property and the general contractor had to make sure that my client was provided with the safety equipment, but they never did. So after litigating this case all the way up to trial, the case settled right before we picked a jury, and it settled for, I believe, $2.8 million. It was a very good settlement for this family. It actually allowed them to be able to breathe again. We were able to obtain a result for this family that enabled them to pay off any existing bills that they had. It enabled them to buy a home in the community in New York City that they had always wanted to live in. And even to this day, for this family, because we made a difference in their lives. And that's what motivates me in large part to do what I do. And what all of us do at Lieber & Ecker, we all believe that our job is to fight for our clients' rights and to protect them so that they can get maximum justice and the compensation they deserve so that they can live a life they want to live.